Hello, this is Oksana. This is going to be my food empties video for the month of January. This is something I try to do every month where I save the packaging from some of the natural, organic, or healthy foods, or sometimes other things make it in here as well, that I've eaten this past month, just so I can tell you a little bit about it, maybe give you some ideas about some healthy snacks, or maybe tell you about how something is not good and you should not try it, etc. So let's get started. First is this organic whole wheat pizza dough, and you can buy this at Whole Foods. It's just the Whole Foods brand. You can actually get this. They don't always have this in the freezer area, and sometimes I just go to the area where they sell the pizza and I ask for it and they will bring it to me. It doesn't say organic. They say because it's like stored with non-organic stuff, they have to not call it organic, but technically it is. And then sometimes they package it in this little package, and then I guess this one can be called organic, but essentially I think it's the same thing because I've gotten it both places. Sometimes they're out. And the ingredients in this dough are organic white whole wheat flour, filtered water, organic olive oil, organic wheat gluten, fresh yeast, I can't talk, organic evaporated cane juice, and salt. So obviously not gluten-free, but I do eat gluten. I don't have sensitivities to it. I do try to, not eat like a ton of it. It's just kind of something that I've been trying to do for health reasons, but I am fine with some of it in my life, so this was okay for me. I really like that there is organic olive oil instead of canola or sunflower or soy. I would definitely not buy it if it was soy oil. So that's really nice because organic olive oil is a different, I forget exactly what it is, but like the other oils like canola, those are omega-6, and they have a really long shelf life. They're really stable, and so they're used in most processed foods, most cookies and things. Palm oil, you'll see a lot of these oils, and our diet is really rich in omega-6, which sounds kind of good because we've been taught that term omega, anything, that means good, right? But actually omega-3 is what people generally will take. Like if you take pills, I take krill oil that has omega-3 in it. And what is important is the balance of the 3 to 6. And so a lot of times you have to supplement your diet with omega-3 because you get so much of the omega-6 and all our processed foods. So I'm really glad that this is olive oil. It's really hard to find, bread and dough and stuff like that with, not canola and sunflower, those kinds of omega-6 oils. But anyways, I made pizza with my daughter, so that is what this dough is from, and I think it tastes good and I like it, so I definitely recommend that. And then another thing, and I really like this, the week that I bought this particular package that I saved to show you guys, they were out of the whole wheat, so I had to buy the white tortillas. This is Whole Foods brand, but normally I buy the whole wheat. And they are, I believe, vegan because, I don't know like all the little details, but this doesn't have, it just has wheat flour, water, palm shortening, salt, baking powder, cream of tartar, cornstarch, baking soda, cultured unbleached wheat flour. So I don't see milk and eggs, so it may be okay, but these are really, really good tortillas. I buy the small ones and then I buy the larger ones, and I actually freeze them because they go bad so quickly. Like seriously guys, I've had these mold on me in like 2 days. So if you buy them, I highly, highly recommend that you stick them in your freezer. And then I will take, 1 or 2 or whatever out, and I'll throw them in my toaster oven because I don't use a microwave. And in like a minute in the toaster oven, it thaws out, it's nice and warm, and it's so good. You can just leave it at room temperature to thaw out, and it'll just take like 5 minutes. I've done that before too. But these are so good to make like little wraps, to make little quesadillas, etc. I've just been making a lot of different foods with these, and I really, really like them. So I wanted to mention them Another thing that is kind of interesting is this Lily's dark chocolate. This one is the almond flavor, and this is sweetened with stevia. There is no sugar added, all natural, 55% cocoa and non-GMO, and this is actually not something that I bought myself. This is something that my father eats because he tries to not eat sugar, but like anybody, he craves sugar, so he buys his chocolate bars with stevia, and I think they're low carb. There is 20 grams of carbs in half, because there's 2 servings per this. So okay, so there's 40 grams of carbs total. I don't know, that sounds kind of high. I don't really know. I don't follow a low carb diet, like specifically counting my carbs or anything, but I know he'll just eat like little pieces of this at a time if he's craving chocolate or sweets. And I tried the little bit of this that remained because he just left this in my fridge and I forgot that it was there, and there's like a little bit left. So I think it tastes pretty good. I think it tastes like pretty comparable to chocolate. It's dark chocolate, which I like dark chocolate. I know it's not like everyone's cup of tea, but if you're looking for something without sugar and with like a safer sweetener alternative, rather than all of those like Splenda, NutraSweet, like all those, you know, dangerous ones, then this seems like a pretty good one. And then let's see what this is. Oh, this is a fail. So I really wanted some dip, and usually I make onion dip from sour cream and, you know, actual like onions. I cook it from scratch, and I think I was wanting something a little quicker. And so I bought this. They didn't have any kind of onion or ranch dip, but they had this all-natural cedars, I don't even know how to say this, tzatziki, I don't know, made with Greek yogurt, cucumber, garlic, and dill. So this was in Whole Foods that I bought this, and I thought it looked good. I thought it was going to be kind of like ranch or something, and this has actually been sitting in my fridge forever, so I finally dumped it out because I hate, you know, things sitting there. I decided I'm never gonna eat this, so I need to throw this out. I just really did not like this at all. It was gross. I mean, no offense if you like this. It just tasted too much like yogurt to me, and I like more of like the sour cream kind of creamy dips, you know, and so this was just, it was weird. I mean, I guess the fact that it says made with Greek yogurt should have probably given away that it was going to taste like yogurt. I just didn't imagine that it was going to be as, you know, as unappealing as it ended up being to me. So this was a fail for me. And let's see what else. Oh yes, my daughter is like obsessed with pickles. She can eat pickles all day long. And so the 365 brand, Whole Foods brand, has kosher organic dill pickles, and these are great because they have organic cucumbers, water, organic vinegar, salt, organic dehydrated garlic, calcium chloride, natural flavors, and turmeric for color. So there isn't added sugar, and there isn't yellow whatever. If you look at a non-natural brand of pickles, I haven't bought pickles in forever just because they add all kinds of junk to it, like dyes and things, and it's just like, no thank you. So not something that you would think to be aware of, but you know, in case you haven't looked at the ingredients in your pickles, this is a good natural organic alternative to other non-natural brands of pickles, and it's cheap because the 365 brand is really cheap, and they don't have that really strong flavor, which I don't like. They're like the really mild pickles where it doesn't taste as vinegary, I guess. I don't know the word for it, but you know what I mean. If you ever had a pickle, some of them have that really strong flavor and some of them are kind of more mild. These are more mild, and my daughter just loves these, and I use them. I make like this Russian, it's kind of like a potato salad. It's really popular salad that everyone makes in Russia, and involves the use of pickles, so I use these when I make that. And let's see what else is in my bag here. I finished off this old-fashioned rolled oats, whole grain from Bob's Red Mill, organic, and I just repurchased some you know, the kind that you buy by weight at Whole Foods. They just had some organic whole oats or whatever, and so I just did that. It's really hard for me to tell the difference between different oatmeals, like if they are like slightly different. I don't know if you're like a oatmeal connoisseur, if you can tell the difference between different brands or not, if one's superior or not, but to me they all taste the same, especially because I put a little bit of I can't think of the word, maple syrup to flavor it, and so that just kind of takes over the flavor. But these were good. I really like them. I bought them off of Vitacost. It's just cheaper to buy the Whole Foods ones, so I decided to do this time around. I might stick to that, just, you know, to save money, but I definitely recommend this brand, and I definitely think, you know, these are good. And let's see what else. Pasta. I had a little bit of this pasta sitting around for a while. We finally finished it. I think I might have made soup and put a little bit of this in the soup, but it's just brown rice pasta shells. Not the biggest fan that it's not organic, but it's gluten-free, wheat-free, and it actually is a really good consistency and texture, and I tend to like rice pasta better than I like wheat pasta. Like, honestly, it just tastes better to me. So I know some people think of it as just like an alternative, like making a sacrifice, but to me, like, now that I've tried rice pasta, I can't talk, I would just rather have that. I think it tastes better, and the only ingredients are brown rice, rice bran, and water. So that is it. The only thing about rice pasta that is a little bit questionable for me is that rice concentrates arsenic. It doesn't matter if it's organic rice or whatever, it just, like, naturally as a grain, it concentrates arsenic, and brown rice tends to have more because, I don't know, just concentrates it more, has like a shell or something that most of the arsenic is in. I don't know about the details, but I try not to eat a ton of rice. I try not to give rice, like my baby, I'm not going to give him rice cereal or anything like that, but it's just something to be aware of. It's kind of like confusing to me because you've been told that brown rice is better, but because it has more nutrients, but guess what? White rice has less arsenic, so it's like, what do you want more of? I don't know. And my friend was telling me about red rice, so now I have to look that up. I want to find whichever one has the least arsenic, but there's like not a lot of information on that out there, so I guess we'll see. And remember last time in my video I told you guys about that little casserole thing I make, and I use potatoes. These are the ones that I use if I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to use actual potatoes. So these are just potatoes that have been shredded, and then they're frozen with, let's see, these have some seasoning, so they have like onion, garlic, pepper, autolyzed yeast extract, and organic sunflower oil. So there's that omega-6 I was talking about earlier. I don't know how I feel about autolyzed yeast extract. I think that rings a bell as something that might contain MSG. So I might need to focus more on using actual potatoes instead of this little shortcut. But sometimes it's easy, and these are organic, and they just thaw out. I like stir fry them with vegetables, well, not stir fry, but I cook them with frozen vegetables and frozen like ground meat, and it makes kind of like a shepherd's pie. These will cook. I add some water or broth, so they end up cooking until they get mushy, and then they essentially turn into like mashed potatoes. So that's what I mentioned in my last video, and now I want to show you what I use for the actual potatoes to do that with. And let's see, I have a couple of little candy type snacks here for Christmas. We wanted to get some treats for my daughter for like stocking stuffers and such, and so I found these. These are the Annies. They're both Annies, but these are the organic grapefruit bites, and these are the organic bunny fruit snacks and sunny citrus. And here's the packaging. We just finally finished them off because I was trying not to give them to her too often. So, I mean, every once in a while, I feel okay giving her these. If, you know, if you're gonna give her some, if you're gonna give your kid some kind of treat, some kind of candy, I think these are definitely a good alternative to traditional candy. However, they do have a lot of sugar and stuff in them, so and a lot of fructose as well. Like this one has a lot of juice, and I'm not a big huge fan of drinking juice. I try not to you know, ever have juice in my house or give my daughter juice. We drink water, and you know, she also drinks milk and tea. We both drink tea. I just recently got her some little kid tea. So just because like fructose is fine in fruit because you have all these other parts of the fruit there, like the flesh, and has lots of like enzymes and things and fibers, and it gets processed a little bit differently, whereas just kind of like straight up fructose in like a concentrated juice form, like these little gummies, it's a little bit different than eating a fruit. And Dr. Mercola, who I love reading all his stuff, he always talks about fructose as really something you should stay away from, and actually read a really interesting article on it recently about how fructose causes leptin resistance in our bodies, and it's kind of what happens when bears get ready to go into hibernation. They make themselves resistant, which makes your body not signal to you when you're no longer hungry, so you can like keep eating and you don't feel hungry. And then it also, even if you're on a decreased calorie diet, if you're eating lots of fructose, it makes you gain weight. Regardless, you know, of how many calories you're eating otherwise. So it's kind of how bears, you know, pack on the pounds to go sleep for the winter. And if you just are eating tons of fructose, you're kind of doing that to yourself. Is kind of the gist of the article that I got. There's a lot more involved than that. But it kind of made me not want to eat a lot of fructose. I'm not going to take out fruits out of our diet because I think they're really healthy and there's a lot of good things in fruit, but I'm not going to eat like insane amounts of fruit and eat all these other sources of fructose like juice and things like that. So just something to be aware of. I can maybe link that article below if anybody wants to read up more on it. I just thought it was really interesting. And then just some crackers. I really like these. These are the sesame seed water crackers from the Whole Foods brand. These are organic. They're really good, and they don't have salt. Sometimes I want crackers without salt on them because I want to put, I don't know, something not salty on them, like some kind of spread. So these are good. I really like these. It's not my first time purchasing them. Shredded carrots. This is random. I'm just saving every package now for you guys, aren't I? My daughter is so obsessed with eating carrots, and sometimes she chokes on those little baby carrots because she tries to eat them too fast. She doesn't chew them thoroughly. So, I mean, not like for serious chokes, but you know, like a little bit, and I'm so paranoid about that kind of stuff. So I've been giving her shredded carrots, and these are organic, just, you know, I obviously don't have any left in here, but you can imagine just little shreds, and they're big enough where she can pick them up with her fingers and eat them, and they're small enough where I don't have to worry about her choking on them. So I like those. Another alternative is to cook the carrots so they're softer, but I want her to have some raw, fresh veggies, and so I get those. I went through another package of this coconut that I use all the time for everything. Really love this in my yogurt. I think that's how I use this one up. This is a good one. It's only got organic coconut as that's its only ingredient, shredded and dehydrated. No sugar added. And then, oh, another snack that my daughter's been really loving is tomatoes. So I've been buying these little grape tomatoes because they're kind of easy. And I've been using them also. I cut them in half. And when this is kind of buried in here now, but the little tortilla wraps, I make her little wraps, and I put tomatoes in there sometimes, as well as the carrots and lettuce. I didn't save the bag from the lettuce to show you guys. Sorry, but these organic cheese tortellinis, these are really good for like in a pinch kind of lunch, especially, you know, for my daughter because she likes these a lot. I just boil them real quick. And the ingredients are pretty decent. They do have wheat. This is not a gluten-free food, and I don't have too much to say about these. I like them too. I like to put sour cream on them. This is kind of a Russian thing, but we have tortellinis with meat is what we eat a lot in Russia, and we put sour cream on them, so just by habit I keep putting sour cream every time I eat tortellinis, which is probably weird, but I really like it. Let's see what else here. Organic sweet peas. So that salad, the potato salad I told you about that I make, that's Russian. It involves potatoes, it involves mayonnaise, pickles, peas. So that is what that is from. Another box. I don't know why I saved 2 boxes of the sesame crackers. It's kind of repetitive. And these Enjoy Life bars we went through. These are the s'mores. They're good, but I don't like them quite as much as the Sun Butter chocolate ones. I think those are a little bit better to me, flavor-wise, but these are really good too. And they're all like non-GMO, gluten-free of everything. Free of soy, free of dairy, free of nuts. And one last thing. Oh no, I'm sorry, not one last thing. A lot of last things. They're just on the bottom here, so I can't reach. I get this, magazine? Not magazine. I get this catalog from Republic of Tea because I've ordered from their website quite a bit, and they usually give you one little tea bag like this. Like there's a tea bag in here, but I took it out to try of another flavor, and I have a ton of their tea right now in my pantry that I drink. But this one I had never tried before. I think it's new, and it's called Downtown Abbey English Rose Herb Tea. And this actually does not say what ingredients it has, but it kind of tastes to me like it might have hibiscus, and I definitely get that rose flavor. And so this is a herbal tea, I believe. I think it doesn't say, oh no, herb tea. Yeah, so it's a herbal tea. And this tasted really good to me. I really liked it. It's got a little bit of that like fruity, sour kind of taste, and I really, really enjoyed this. And their tea bags are really nice if you're going to use a tea that comes in bags rather than loose. They're unbleached, and they don't use that chemical, whatever it's called. Starts with an E, I can't remember it anymore, but I've like talked to them about it and they don't use it. So good natural tea, a little bit pricey, but you can buy it online, and you can buy it in Whole Foods as well, which is where I usually end up buying it. But their website has a lot more of a variety on there. So that is just one little thing I saved to show you. And then this, I don't know how to pronounce that word, but Rigoni di Asiago, I think is the brand. Organic fruit spread, wild lingonberry. This does not have any sugar added. It's just wild lingonberries, apple juice, and pectin. And I really liked this on the crackers. Put a little bit of butter on there, a little bit of this, and it's really yummy. So, I mean, it is a lot of fructose. I just was dissing juice a little bit earlier, but if you're gonna have, you know, some kind of little snack, I really enjoy a little bit of this. And it's kind of sour too. Like, this doesn't taste overly sweet like typical jam or jelly, which I don't really like. It's just kind of like overwhelming. But yeah, just a good little snack to satisfy that kind of craving carbs and craving something sweet at the same time, sweet and sour kind of. So I went through this finally. And one last thing, I did not go through this entire package. I just kind of broke it, and so I put this in a Ziploc bag, and I decided to show you this package because I don't want to save it for ages and ages. But this is just something that I thought was really interesting. So this is from Whole Foods, and they are spring roll wrappers that are made from tapioca starch, rice starch, salt, and water. So I wonder if that means they're gluten-free, because there's no wheat. I don't know anything about tapioca starch. But I didn't even know that this is what spring rolls were made out of, because on the picture it's got a spring roll and then it's got this one. So like if you fry it, it's like that. And if you don't, it's like that. So I went to use them to make spring rolls. I got cabbage and carrots and all that stuff. And I went to use these. And I take them out, and they're hard. Like, if you bend it, it'll just snap. And I was like, what do I do? There's no instructions of any kind on here. So finally, I have the bright idea to soak it in water just for a minute. and then it kind of gets nice and soft. So I rolled up my spring rolls and it kind of looked, you know, like this. Well, not with the shrimp, but you know, the wrapper turned kind of white, clearish like this. And I decided to try and bake them in the oven. So I brushed them with olive oil and I put them in the oven to bake. And I don't know what happened, but they did not turn to this. I don't know if it's an absolute must that you must fry them to get this. It probably is, but my first experience with these was awful because they like, part of the wrapper got burned and another part of the wrapper remained like this white clear stuff, and they did not come even close to like your typical, you know, crunchy spring roll wrapper. So I clearly did something very wrong when I made these, but I may try again. I still have some of these wrappers left, but I don't want to say it's a fail. I think that I probably failed at, you know, using these, but I just wanted to mention them because that's interesting, and I thought it was kind of cool, the idea of making your own spring rolls, because I love spring rolls, so just have to figure out how to use them. But that is it. These are my food empties for the month of January, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!